Good day. This is Lateesha with Soul's Bread Wisdom, and I am here to just share about ancestral intervention in relationships. Oftentimes we can meet people and we start dating someone and they are amazing. And we think that, this is my dream woman or my dream man. And then we will start receiving some signs. Maybe by dream or things you hear. You may be listening to a commercial on the radio and it'll come through and it'll say something, but it'll stick out to you as a warning. Or, your little cousin could say something and it will trigger you, like you would hear it loud and clear. And it doesn't sound like something random that was said, but it is so significant as a warning regarding this relationship. And, this is how the ancestors will communicate with us to let us know that we have entered into a relationship or are about to enter into a relationship with someone who can possibly derail us from walking our path that our soul was incarnated to do, and will keep us from getting to a place of victory. I have a story of my own, and one that I must say that I wish, if I could turn back time, I wish that I had heeded the warnings of the ancestors, but I did not. And for one, because I knew that the dreams and I knew that the things that I was seeing were significant. But I was not taught to trust my dreams. And of course, in the African American family, we typically hold dreams in high regard. My grandmother was one who would have dreams, and they would be telling. And so that's a part of our culture. But for me, I was never at a place where I felt that my dreams were significant. So I was in a relationship. This particular man came into my life, and he was somebody that I knew from my past. And I was so excited when he came into my life because he would just dote on me. He would tell me all of the things that I wanted to hear. And he was so handsome, and he was what I wanted. And once we started dating, I had a dream that he had left my house. It was like he disappeared. He abandoned me. And he left a car, an old rusted car in my yard. Not in the driveway, but on the grass in the yard. And when I woke up, I knew that it was I knew it was a warning. I knew that the universe was telling me something. At that time, I was not even aware of anything of the ancestors or talking to the ancestors, but I knew the universe was telling me something. But again, I did not trust what I had seen. And of course, a car in a dream represents your body, your movement, and how you move in life. And that rusted car, that dream was warning me to let me know that if I moved forward with this relationship, that he would indeed abandon me, and I would be left in a stagnant place where I could not move, and I would be left to clean up and figure out how to clean up the rust and the mess that he left behind. And so I did not pay attention to the dream. And then while he was there, this was another, sign that came through from the ancestors, them trying to warn me. While he was at my house, this was around the same time, either probably the next day, because he had spent the night. He'd come from out of town. He spent the night. Then he received a phone call. And I was standing there, and someone had called, and
They were saying that he had met them the day before and so forth. And he was standing there lying, saying he didn't know who it was and they had the wrong phone number. But he was such a cool liar until I did not pay attention to what was happening. I didn't want to hear it. I knew, I had flags going off. Again, the ancestors prompted that person to call at that time so that I would hear it. We were standing in my kitchen so that I would hear it and not that I would be aware that something was wrong. I didn't listen. Then I moved. From the city I was in, left my house, moved the city I was in so that we could be together. And he ultimately broke up with me after I moved and left me for someone else. And so the first dream actually manifested, where I was left to clean up the baggage that he had left me with. So again, I was so broken. I was at one of my lowest places when this happened. And then he came back almost a year later. And I allowed him into my life once again. He was over at my house. And his phone accidentally, with the quote fingers, accidentally fell out of his pocket. He left, but I had the phone here. And it was his work phone. One that I would normally never see. So I happened to look at it. Surely prompted by the ancestors to do so. And in there was another woman that he was telling her he loved her and they were in a relationship and so forth and so on. And I was so hurt, and I called him and he came back and he cried and he was on his knees, tears streaming. I promise you I'll never talk to her again. Please don't throw me away. I love you. I fell for it, sadly. Not paying attention to the ancestors warning me about who he was. And sadly to say, I ended up marrying this person. And while we were married, the ancestors allowed me to see, because he was never, ever sloppy with his cheating that he was doing. He never left a trace. He would go to work. He would come home. He would answer the phone if I called. He never gave me any reason to believe that anything was going on. But the ancestors allowed me. They revealed it because they wanted me to know what was going on. And I just so happened to be helping him with a resume. And I said, let me see. And I was in his email about to send it. And just as I was there, by chance, I had taken a lunch break. And there was an email that came through from that same girl that had sent him the messages on the phone, that he cried and told me he would never talk to her again. And she had crafted a resume for him. And it came through just as I was there, just on my lunch break, just for a quick second. I was on his email and it came through right then. Surely the ancestors orchestrated the whole thing. And that moment blew my mind, because it was then revealed that, he had never stopped seeing her, and he would go over and he was having an affair with her. And then it was revealed that there were 3 additional women in addition to that one that he was in rotation with and having relationships with. And, again, the ancestors revealed all of it to me. All of it. And I was blown away. And because of that, the wounds from that
and dealing with that and trying to restore my life from that took so long, took years. And, while we were there, he promised, he begged, he did everything. I'll do the right thing, so forth and so on. And so we were still together a little while after that. The ancestor sent me another dream that he was cheating with a woman, showed it to me that he was in a restaurant with someone that he had met, he was flirting with her. And by this time, I knew that I could trust my dreams. I knew that I could trust my dreams. And, the relationship, it ended. And again, it took me years to put my life back together. And so this is just one example. But I will say, after that whole years of dealing with my ex-husband, when the ancestors are speaking to me, when I get a warning dream, I do not ignore it, because the ancestors will speak to you because they know the path. They know the road that you are destined to be on. And they are helping you. And again, they speak to you in multiple ways, And indeed, I experienced multiple ways that they spoke and worked hard to try to tell me and try to warn me about this person. And they never stopped trying to warn me, that if you continue on with this person, you will not be able to achieve what it is that your soul has incarnated to do. After that and dating other people, when I get the message, when I have the dream, or when I hear, I respect it. And I don't continue on. I don't continue on because I trust that the ancestors love me. My elevated ancestors, they love me and ride for me and ride with me so that I can be the best version of myself and elevate the ancestors. Because when we are on our path and when we accomplish what it is that we are supposed to be doing, we elevate the ancestors because they are a part of our DNA. They are a part of us, and on their shoulders we stand. And so it is that we want to make them proud, by doing what it is that our souls have come to do. So I just wanted to share that with you for whoever it is that needs to hear it, and whenever it is that you need to hear it, that it would help you to know that, your ancestors are helping you and guiding you and warning you about people, and also telling you, this person, you can trust them. This is a good person. So I thank you so much for listening. Again, I'm Lateesha Hinton with Soul Spread Wisdom. Have a good evening.